Uh, I'm making a serious video on this channel now. Well, not now, as in like consecutively. I'm gonna upload more serious videos, but I just really want to discuss something that I believe that is vital and could be applicable to anyone's life if they wish or care to listen. Because I don't know, I feel like this what I'm about to say has at least a little bit of soul for any individual, you know, on a subjective manner. I believe any individual could find a certain percentage of soul in what I'm about to say and maybe apply it to themselves for a morale boost. I don't know. I believe that there's time for jokes and, there's time for uplifting other motherfuckers and there's time for both and you can mix both. But I believe I really want to get this off my chest because this is an epiphany I had. I was staying up late, couldn't go to sleep. Woke up at 5 o'clock. I'm talking too much. Let me get to what I wrote. And not what I wrote, what I spoke, because I was speaking the song to a voice recorder and I formatted it all here. And then once I say it all, then I end the video. So now can you hear me? Yesterday I saw the path wasn't easy. Ego humbled. Rainbow Road is gonna have some rocks in it. Rainbow Rocky Road, if you know what I'm saying. But that's alright, because our tires are invigorated, not flattened, but invigorated in strength by God. So we may endure any terrain or obstacle that may meet our path. For I was in the gym, rolled against 8 blue belts, my positions reversed so many times. I was grindy, but they kept sweeping, so now I focus solely on sweeping. Naga competition February, my new milestone goal, everything fixated on that, but then halted, hurt, calf, muscle, hurt, landed, awkward, walked, home, hurt, calf, destroyed in training, contemplating, in the cold, hour walk, thinking, destroyed, opponents, me, come home, go to sleep, calf gets cramped, find out, get out of bed, I'm limping, wasn't before, gets better when I lay down, but when I get out of bed and walk on it, I'm not limping compared to yesterday. Now I realize, I look online, see what my masturbation usage can bring me to a possible detriment in all my amalgamation of years of indulgence in my lust. 10 years masturbating, 10 years of my life. Adderall, prolonged masturbation sessions, increased horniness, stimulus, prescribed since I was 12, 13, couldn't comprehend the incomprehensible my feelings and what I felt and the stimulus that dealt me in my mind. And so, every day, hour-long wanking sessions, couldn't comprehend, just new indulgence. My brain couldn't tell the difference. The 13-year-old boy, awkward, shallow, gray, ghost. That's what loss of essence equates to. And we just kept going in this path. Let me continue with the story. That wasn't part of it. All this prosperity and happiness that I've been feeling in 18 days or 20 days, due to just simply retaining my essence and devoting myself to self-mastery and of all aspects in life. But in this aspect, I realize now that not every day is going to be rainbows and sunshine. It's going to be turbulent probably, as these withdrawal symptoms of masturbation, yes, masturbation withdrawal symptoms exist. If you go without and you remain celibate, or just go without porn and go without masturbation for a specific period of time, then you're going to have acute withdrawal symptoms. And this varies from individual to individual. But say if you go from like motherfucking 14 years old and you're my age, like 21, and from each every day you masturbate and intensely, intimately, awesome, badassly, and you masturbate, your brain can't tell the difference. You can. You feel like a loser. Your brain feels like a winner because it's feeling the stimulus of a winner. So every day your brain comprehends that you're fucking 10 out of 10 women every day for like 10 years of your life every day. No brain can handle that. Not even kings had the luxury of seeing naked women upon the request of sight. Even God's allies, King Solomon, I think he had accessibility to 600 wives. I think even then he still maybe would have preferred porn and some specificities of accessibility. But that's what lust does, man. That's what lust does. Heavily masturbating. We're not talking about how much of a chronic one I am. I was fucking Adderall, 45 milligram instant release, 4 to 8 hours straight. Adderall prescribed. I can understand why. I'm gonna go through the long haul. My brain has been wired to think it's fucking 10 out of 10 women every day. And then all of a sudden, I suddenly stop. It's alright. Through the turbulence and the cold, God will make me warm. God will give me strength. God is in my heart. God is in my soul. God is in every movement, and He has aligned me to what is best for me. I understand this and I know this. I do not question. I simply accept and move. But why does this strike me? Why do I always suddenly feel myself in a flood of tears just simply by the thought of God's guidance? It's very alleviating to know that my earthly ego can be rested and that I can simply let in faith and strength in God, for He will carry me. It's simply alleviating to know that I can put my entrustment in a higher source while my ego guides through the winds instead of commanding the boat. I can't even grasp this concept of feeling. Why? I was never like this. But suddenly out of nowhere now, bro, I couldn't understand it. What the fuck, man? I'll be good. I'm planned for. What could this be? The physiology of the body? How could we point this to science? No. Science can't fathom and comprehend the energies and frequencies that permeate this tangible reality of ours, this tangible reality of many realities. And in this reality, we are under one source and that we call God. God, not under no Christian label, and not under any other label. God as in the source. God as in the power that attunes to all and every. And so then, when I cry and let it lead me that this power and source will guide me as long as I entrust and stay attuned to it, you tell me that it was my nervous system, my physiology, just my body alleviating stress? You may go by consensus amalgamation of internet consensus opinion, but I go by one thing simply, and that is what I know in my mind. And what I know in my mind has been releases of energy so profound and interchanging to life, day to day, that in no way could you adapt this to human physiology. Because you know why? This human physiology can't account for all the days where I didn't have this. And then just one moment, profound epiphany. Not enlightenment, because that would be depression if I had it so soon, but simply an optimism for enlightenment. I know when someone faces life so mechanically, so stone-faced, you face it with no such concept of belief in spirit or spiritual. They face it with a level of brunt against the blunt mechanics of life, and they go through it. And when you go through it stone-faced, and you go through the weather, inevitably, you can be mechanically so grounded as you are in the ego that is still so mortal, and the stone will inevitably crack. And it will slowly and slowly crack, and you won't even be aware enough to notice what is happening underneath the layers of yourself. Dude, it's just purely mechanical ignorance. You're not even aware of the own interchanging of your own soul because you have neglected the spirit and have fully embraced the mechanical to such a detriment. The mechanical and the scientist and the nihilism of there being something higher. Why? And so, I was flawed. Fuck. Even though as I matured and grew more spiritual as time went on, I realized I was still integrating lessons. I was not listening to God. I was listening to my ego still. But I was still simply elevating my ego through spiritual practice. This was malpractice in form, that I realized looking back now. For I was just empowering and elevating myself to a greater power using spiritual utilities. But if I'm still carrying an ego with me, then ultimately I'm just flying closer and closer to the sun, inevitably until I fall. Because mortals can only fly so high. And when I fall, what wings are there for... And when I fall, what wings are there for me to fly? God is our wings, and He flies us. We do not need to fly for ourselves. God is our guidance, and He will guide us to the heaven and the light. We do not need to guide ourselves. We simply entrust in Him. I was just unconsciously playing with my foreskin right now. I need to stop doing that on video. We dismiss and neglect the earthly ego, and we entrust in the greater attunement of the power. This is universal. This is Zen. This is not Christian. This is not Buddhist. This is not Hindu. This is not Muslim. This is broad source spirit attunement. That is the higher power. That's about almost 10 minutes. Jeez, I didn't expect that to be so long. Yeah, I was just like speaking all those words voice recorder because I was going through a lot of emotions. So deal with that as you will. Thank you for watching.